what are the plans for your body? Will we see the same tattoos that...
Michael has a fresh set of tattoos, and they are central to the plot, but they don't work quite the same way they did the first time around.
That's it? All right, let's go. Who's got a question? Are there microphones? Give it to yeah. There we go, yay, go.
Hi, my name is Carmen Perez, and I'm from San Clemente, California. Yes, I live where you live. And my question is...
Thank you.
And my question is, what brought up the revival of Prison Break? The reason I ask is because at the end of the last season, the character's fates had concluded. You were dead, and you know,
we've all been dead, sweetheart.
So, yeah, what brought you guys together again for such an amazing revival show?
I was working, Wentworth wanted someone to work with him on The Flash. He got my job on The Flash. The producers were looking for someone that was a hothead, who was aggressive, who was unpredictable type, and force of nature, I think they said, right? And Wentworth said, well, there's only one guy for that, that's Dom. So that's how that happened. And we got on set, and it was just like we hadn't been apart for all these years, and we started talking about Prison Break, and we started, warming to the idea of why don't we just revisit it, maybe. And we went to the producers, I think it was Dawn. She said yes. And the process was very quick after that. And I will say, if it wasn't, the green light essentially came from Wentworth.
Next question.
Hi, this is for Michael. This is Kate from San Diego. I was hoping to see or to know how long did it take for them to put all those tattoos on your back?
In the original series. In the original series, I had a full body tattoo, front, back, arms. It took about 2 hours to apply, an hour to take off, but it was only once an episode. This time around, there were fewer tattoos. It only took a half hour, but it was every day.
Next question.
Hi, my name is Jillian, and I'm from Texas. My question is, after working together for so many years, what are the craziest memories you have from being on set? All possible.
Can I say something?
Can't say that.
Can I answer that in a sort of a roundabout way? One of the coolest things about seeing these guys this time around was I never felt there was a moment of going, hey, how are you? How you been all these years? It wasn't nostalgia. It was a bunch of actors telling a story right now, and how the hell are we going to do it to keep it fresh? That was so exciting. At the same time, what was also great is any actor you work with in this business that's a star or famous, before Prison Break, I'd go, I don't know how to relate to those people. It's pretty great that they're, known. But this bonded all of us in a similar kind of experience, which was kind of amazing to look at each other and go, is it the same for you, man? Can you go anywhere in the world without knowing who you are? And we'd all say, nope, everybody knows this. And that's a beautiful little safety net for all of us to go, yeah, I hear you, man. It's the same way. It's a beautiful thing, and it's also a curse because we gave up our anonymity by playing these characters.
So, I remember we had a scene in the infirmary. I know that's going to really narrow it down. You'd been burned, and you were face down, and you were waking up and looking at me. And I remember I had to say, my line was, I had to perform a procedure. To this day, I can't say it without laughing. I don't know why. We'd been in that infirmary for a long time, and there are cameras on my face, and Wentworth's back of his head is to the camera. And he would just kind of go, and like open one eye and try and watch me say it. I mean, it was probably 25 takes before I got it right. That was, yeah, I don't know, for some reason that's a moment that sticks with me. Wentworth just watching me try and not make an ass of myself.
Robert's point that he just made, it's a good place to jump off. How can you talk about the delicacy of tackling this. I mean, it is called Prison Break, so you have to obviously incorporate that. But I mean, at what point does he become rehabilitated? I mean, what was talk about the challenges of figuring out the next chapter, writing this next chapter?
I had a great conversation with Paul Shearing in early January, and my knee-jerk reaction to the idea of this coming back, which was, had begun these two down here, was, please God, make it different. Please don't just give the audience what we've seen before. And these actors and these characters have changed over 6 years, and I got a promise from all of them that that was indeed going to be the case, that this was going to we were going to give you what you loved and knew from before, but we were going to go in a much deeper place, more mature, more brazen, and simpler, I think. And for Teddy, I think the catharsis and the epiphanies that he's gone through in the last 6 years in prison, that I've gone through in my own personal life, were pretty extraordinary, and to be able to incorporate them was necessary.
When you guys went back to the network, I mean, you knew part of this is that you'd have to figure out a way to get him back in the pokey, right? I mean, that was part of the pitch.
That wasn't my idea, no. I figured that we would have to be true to the show's DNA, but once Paul Shearing signed on to spearhead these 9 episodes, I thought, well, great, because he got the whole thing started. And he has a very contemporary, topical, edgy point of view. And I wanted the show to be both, this is what you've loved all along, but also something radical and different and new. And it is those things.
All right, next question.
Hi there, Justin Morales. My question is for the Schofield brothers. As you guys just mentioned, you guys were on The Flash together. So can we expect any characteristics from Captain Cold and Heatwave on Prison Break?
Maybe a musical, I don't know.
All right, I think we're moving on. Next question.
Hello, my name is Robin. I'm from San Jose, and I love Prison Break. I still do, but when it was on before. I'm so excited for the new season. And my question is for all the actors. You guys have done a lot of great work since the last iteration of Prison Break. And my question is, how do you think your Prison Break characters would fare on other TV shows you've been on since?
Well, I'm kind of playing one on them. Nick Rory is kind of similar to, there are similarities with Nick and Lincoln. I think Nick's just funnier. It'd be interesting to see both of them go head-to-head in a fight. I don't know who would win. But, yeah.
Wentworth or Sarah?
Oh, sure. I think it would be neat to see Michael Scofield on The Flash or Legends of Tomorrow. He has always had a comic book facet, a superhero facet. He can endure what the next person cannot. I don't think he and Snart would get along necessarily, because Snart doesn't get along. It's an interesting idea.
I feel like Sarah Tancredi in the zombie apocalypse might not last particularly long. I'm not sure. I just don't think that's like really her wheelhouse. I think she'd do pretty well on Colony. I think she'd probably join the resistance, and she and Katie would burn down the block.
I am very happy to report that Teabag will only be on Prison Break and no other show.
All right, next question.